Hey everyone. So I'm Tesla Herbert, and today we're being joined by none other than Tesla Joy. Welcome, Joy. How are you doing?
I'm great. How about you, Herbert?
I'm doing wonderful, thanks. So, for those who don't know, I'm doing a series of videos, and I'm going to get the chance to interview some of the key personalities in the Tesla community. And I think, like many of you, perhaps I think of Tesla as once in a generation kind of company, perhaps one of the most consequential companies in the world. And I think it's going to be important and fun that we record the history in the making. So, one of those people who saw this happening as early on in 2018 is Joy. So, Joy started a very successful YouTube channel. You can find her at Tesla Joy. So, from my understanding, you initially started focusing on sharing just great information about Tesla Model 3, but now you're branching out from that. You're today one of the top celebrities. As much as you don't say you are absolutely the top celebrity. And so I'm curious to just learn more about you. So, Joy, welcome. And so tell us your story. Where did you grow up? Where do you live today?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Herbert. First of all, I am not a celebrity. I do have a YouTube channel, but it's small compared to others. But it's okay. I'm not a full-time YouTuber. This is my side pet project that I do. So no. But thank you. Thank you. So I grew up actually in Taiwan. That's where I was born.
Yeah.
And I was there until I was 14 years old before my family moved to Southern California. So now I live in Los Angeles. If you have ever watched my YouTube
Yeah.
channel, you may notice that I have done a few episodes in Taiwan. So I do still speak, read, and write fluent Chinese, and the majority of my family is still back there.
Wonderful. I will come back to the Taiwan, but I did see one of your videos where you actually you changed it to Chinese. The FSD Beta was in Chinese or something. But so for your video, your YouTube channel, I absolutely love your tagline. So zero emissions, 100% joy. So I was curious, like, what drove you to start that? Was it because of your love for the car? Was it because of the stock purchase? Are you an investor? Or is it because you're driven by the environmental cause?
Yeah, that's a great question. First of all, I do own stock, but I am not like really emphasizing on stock. I'm not a finance person. My background is electrical engineering, and I've
Right.
been in technology for 20 plus 25 years. Um, but 2 months before I took delivery of my Model 3 back in
Yeah.
2018, I decided, well, if I'm going to support this company and I do like their product, why not get some stocks? I only bought like $3,000 worth of it.
Yeah.
But then later on, I just started adding a little bit more. I'm not a Tesla nair, just so that you know. Let's just clear the cloud. So I am not a Tesla nair. So if you do follow me on social media, I don't talk about stock that
Yeah.
often. I'm not being affected that much by the ups and downs because I do understand that's how stock market behaves.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, with the tagline, it was actually something that happened later on in my channel. I think maybe it was like 2019. So I started the channel initially. It was called Joy's World because
Yes.
yeah, I have a lot of different interests, and so I figured, maybe I'll do a YouTube channel just kind of sharing my life because I love to travel. I like to eat.
Yeah.
And then I have a
Yes.
Tesla, and I love technology. I love robots. But then I started realizing that I should just focus on one thing, and it was Tesla, basically educating new users and future owners of Tesla about this car. So my channel originally started. It still is. The basis is to educate new
Yeah.
and future owners on how to operate and maximize the features of this car. But then, as my channel started growing, I'm like, you know what? I see people coming up with logos and catchy taglines. I'm like, what do I do? So I'm like, you know what? Zero emissions,
So,
100% joy. Because I mean, my name really is Joy.
so that's what
People
I was going to
ask,
ask you. I
yes, yes,
love
like, yeah,
Tesla
people
Joy.
always ask, it's like, is Joy actually your name? Like, yes, it is. And then so when I changed, when I decided to pivot to just do Tesla videos, I'm like, okay, what should I name my channel? So I'm like, well, Tesla Joy, why not? So that became it. And then when I just kind of brainstormed later on, like, and I start seeing people wearing those zero emissions
Yeah.
T-shirt. I'm like, zero,
It's
100%
so
joy.
perfect. I love it
So
so much.
that's how that came about.
But Joy, I've been talking to many people in the Tesla Con, in the Cyber Rodeo. Every person I talk to, and I ask them the question, "What got you interested in Tesla? Was it the stock? Was it the car? Was it the mission?" And I swear to you, 3 out of 4, if not all of them, say the first person they met was you. That
Really?
you are the person that they first found, and that's what happened to me. That's why I wanted you to be one of my first people I talked to, because when I've been an investor since 2012, but when I started to get into this, I discovered you as my first, well before the third row Tesla Omar A10. So I feel like that is a common theme with you. So you're definitely a great entry point to this. And I love that you call your car Joy Mobile.
Yes.
It's too perfect. I don't believe you when you say that Joy is not your real name. You've made it
I,
up.
I get that all the time, and I thank you for telling me that. I'm so happy and pleased to hear that
Yeah,
my videos have helped so many people understanding, this car because it's brand new. and
yeah,
and actually, going back to your previous question, like how I got into
yeah.
this, it wasn't environmental, to a lot of people's surprise, but technology. Because, like I said, I'm a nerd. I'm like a nerd. Like, I love technology. I love the latest gadget and whatever. So I first experienced a Tesla in 2016. So I think it was like a month and a half after Model 3 was announced. Um, I um, I had a work trip
Wait, wait,
to the
wait.
Bay
When the
Area. Yeah,
Model 3 announced, you were not the first person to sign
I
up,
was
right?
not. I was not. I was driving a BMW 328i at the time, and I was like, "Yeah, it's fine." But then it came on. It came out. I was like, "This is actually interesting." And then everyone's like, "Woo!" Put her. I didn't. Well, let me take that back.
Yeah,
I discussed with my ex-husband.
yeah,
Then I was married. Then I'm divorced now.
yeah.
But so we're like, hey, this is actually pretty cool. And then we actually put down the $1,000 reservation, or
Right,
100. It was 1,000. It was $1,000, and we're like, you know what? This sounds cool. We discussed it, and we're like, okay, let's just put it down because it's refundable. So we did. But then my ex kind of backpedaled on it, and he's like, yeah, maybe we don't need it. And so we
wow.
canceled it.
Yeah,
Okay. But then fast forward to 2017, April. It was April 2017. My BMW started breaking down more because it was nearing 100,000 miles. Because I own my cars. Each ICE car that I've owned, it's all been around 10 years, like
same with
pretty
me.
much at 100,000 miles. I would like, okay, it's time to get a new one. So my car was leaking like crazy. And, and I kept taking it in. Nobody's like figuring out like where it was leaking. The engine oil was leaking, the coolant was leaking. They changed the cap, they changed the hose, they changed a bunch of
Right.
stuff, like just hundreds of dollars just going in, right? And then I'm just like, okay, no, I think I'm gonna put that reservation back in. So
You're so
I
lucky.
put it down, the reservation, with my own money. I'm like, okay, I will need a new car because this car is just gonna die soon. So April 2017, I put down the reservation again. And then that was it.
You're so lucky that that happened. Yeah, it's the same story as me, by the way. So that's very cool. And you're very lucky that this all happened, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm so thankful now.
BMW failed.
Yes.
Otherwise, Tesla the Joy wouldn't exist, right?
That's right.
I was looking at all your videos. You do quite a bit. It looks like about one per week, and it's been
Yeah. Yeah.
four
Every
or five
Monday
years.
I upload one. Yes.
Fantastic. You're doing a great job. But I noticed that one of the video that has the most views with 330,000 views is the one that is 5 things I don't like about my Model 3. Why do you think that is? It's like, why would that have the most views versus, all the great other videos that you're doing?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. So, I believe that one has the most view because, and that video is 3 years old now, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, and I think at that time, Tesla is just the Model 3 is new, like really new, and a lot of people are researching it. A lot of people are learning about this car online,
Yeah.
but pretty much all the videos out there, it's just people saying how wonderful this car is.
Right.
So I decided to put out this video, and some people say I was being nitpicky. I got a lot of pushback. That's a gentle way of saying it. For putting out that video, I actually has somebody calling for my death, and I removed that comment. But
That's a Tesla fan.
yeah. Like, you need to die or stuff like that. Like, but to me, I just wanted people to understand at that time, 3 years ago, the Model 3 was a brand new product.
Right.
And there are little things
Yeah.
that they still need improvements on. And if you look at that video, the things that I mentioned, they're actually not that serious. I didn't have any panel gaps. I didn't have messed up paint or body, job, nothing. But just tiny little things that like irritated me, that I didn't like it. I didn't say I hated them, right? But it just like I wish they could have done something more to make it better. So and some of the things that I did, and I actually did a follow-up video, I think maybe 2 years ago, and say, hey, remember I did this video?
Right.
What has changed, right? So there are things that Tesla actually resolved or improved on,
Nice.
right?
Yes.
So that was just a way for me to document how far
Exactly.
the Model 3 has grown and matured, right? So when I did that video, I put out a disclaimer saying that my Model 3, when I took delivery, they told me is first production car. So
Okay.
at that time, there was no test drive. Prior to me driving my Model 3 off the lot, I had never driven an EV. No,
Yeah. I
there's
don't think any of us have, maybe.
nothing. Okay. And thankfully, so I took delivery July 2018. Thankfully, in January, like late January of 2018, they had a Model 3 on display at a gallery nearby here in LA. I think it was like the second Tesla store that they actually had a Model 3 inside. So I went to that store, waited in line, waited for like 20 minutes to actually look at a Model 3 and sat in it.
Right.
No driving because it was like in the showroom. And I'm like, okay, this is how it's going to feel when I eventually get my car. And my VIN number is, I mean, it's not super early, but it's in the 41,000.
Nice. Yeah.
So it's, again, first production.
Yeah.
So now, Tesla has done so much to enhance
Yes. Yeah.
the Model 3, right? Now it's got better sound insulation. It's got double pane
yeah.
windows. Mine doesn't,
Mine doesn't.
right? And then it's got auto trunk. Right, mine didn't. I had to do the add the OEM.
My family
right?
hates that so much.
I know. It's like now
it.
the kid. I'm like, you kids don't know how good you have it now. So that's how that video came about.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, that was like the most
Well,
popular
that I
video.
think the reason why you're so successful from my perspective is that you're very authentic. And when you did that, that shows that you're not, this right, this Tesla fan that's just gonna gloss over. You are telling things as you see it. One thing I already mentioned to you before that I was shocked was that when I first watched your first video, it was Joy's World.
Yeah.
It was very funny. It was very well done for the first video you've ever done. But the second video is what got me hooked. Because your very second video, I think it's still called Joy's World, but you did it without makeup on.
Yep.
And I was like, whoa, this person is gonna do, this is like that doesn't happen in today's world, in today's nobody does that. And that's authenticity right then and there. You're gonna say everything and whatever it is, whatever the day is. So that's what got me hooked right away. So I just love that about you. And I think that that's what people see. And that's why that maybe is the best video. But of all the episodes you have done, which one would you say is your favorite? The one you love the most?
Oh wow, there's so many of
That's a
them.
lot. Yeah.
There's so many of them. I can tell you though, the most fun
Uh,
is the one that I did the Falcon table when I took two of my friends. We went through. It was during the lockdown,
mm,
and then here in LA, they did. They canceled, LA Fair, but they decided to do like a drive-through fair food festival, and then I used the opportunity to share with people this Falcon table that you can do picnic in your Tesla. So I brought two girlfriends, and we totally goofed off. We did karaoke.
I
It
love
was
those videos, by the way. When
so much fun.
you invite your friends, and I saw that last one. Sorry to interrupt, but I saw that
Yeah.
last one where your friend was trying to but use a supercharger for the first time. You got to do more of those.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, that's the most fun to make. But I think the one that I actually enjoyed making the most was the one where I slept at the Kettleman City Supercharger.
Uh-huh.
Right before I attended I think it was either the Tesla Owner Silicon Valley
Mm.
Club or the San Joaquin Valley Club, because their events were like very close to one another at Firebar. So I decided not to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and drive up there.
Yeah, yeah.
So I decided to um, go to Kettleman, drive up from LA to Kettleman City,
Yeah.
sleep in my Model 3 overnight, and then the next day meet up with the rest of the Tesla Club SoCal people up, and then we rally up to Firebar. I enjoy making that video because you mentioned, my second video I had no makeup on. Same thing with that video, because I drove out like at 8 o'clock at night, and I'm just like, I'm gonna make this video geared toward women, and I'm going to share with ladies that own a Tesla or may want to own a Tesla. Like, you can actually camp in your Tesla safely and
Yeah.
comfortably.
I don't know how many people will do that. You're very cool.
Well, I did my homework, so thanks to Eli Burton.
Yes.
I noticed that he slept at superchargers quite often on the trip with his daughter. So I asked him. I said, "Hey, do you feel it would be safe for a woman to stay at Kettleman City?" He goes, "Yeah, absolutely. It's lit. It's very busy. There's like a restroom right outside. You have to enter in a code." And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. So I did, and then so I enjoy making that because it was for women.
Yes.
So like I said, I drove out at night, and I'm like, I had no makeup, and I got there, I went to sleep. The next morning, I woke up, and again, no makeup, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do makeup in my car. So I did my makeup, I changed my clothes, and then the team from LA came up at 7 o'clock. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Let's roll. I've actually gotten comments from people after that video, men, telling me, "Oh, my wife loved that video." I'm like, yeah. So
Yeah.
I want to encourage women
Yeah.
to feel more comfortable with Tesla. So, you probably have noticed that the majority of
Yeah.
people online with Tesla, right, it's male. So I'm happy to provide a female perspective
First of all,
on this.
I love your personality. You're so easy and fun to go with, and this just shows me that you're willing to you're down for anything. That's too cool. I'm not gonna sleep in my Tesla. I'm gonna be at a five-star hotel. Not quite a five-star, but yeah, I'm not sleeping in the car. Tell me about women in Tesla. I love that you support that. I know you've seen a lot of you videos and you promote it. Were you one of the founders? Tell me more about what it is. I've seen it that there's a Twitter handle, Women of Tesla, and then there's events that happen, and you seem to be one of the leaders. How did it start? What's your involvement?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'm actually not affiliated with Women of Tesla. So Women of Tesla, well, it's kind of, I guess they disbanded it.
Okay.
But initially it was set up to do like kind of like a TeslaCon type of thing, but just for women, like women in the Tesla community, like a big conference. But how I started, which is actually, I changed the name to Tesla Women.
Okay.
How I started this was because I had the official Tesla Owners Club officers from other areas contacting me saying, "Hey, Joy, we want to encourage more women to come to meetups because when we do meetups,
It's boring.
it's all guys, it's all men. How can we get more women to
It's boring.
participate?" So I'm like, you know what? Let me kind of think about this. And then I came up with an idea. So I told them, you know what? Let me test it out. So I partner up with Marty, who is the president of Tesla Club SoCal. Tesla Club SoCal is not an official sanctioned Tesla Owners Club, but she started this club 4 years ago. And in fact, on Saturday, so today is Thursday, we're filming this. 2 days from now, I'm going to their 4th anniversary meetup. And so she runs, I would say, the biggest female-led Tesla Owners Club out there. So, and I became friends with her. I started going to their meetups. And so I say, "Hey, Marty, I have this idea that I want to test out. And I know you have a reach and you are the woman president of the Owners Club here. What do you think about this idea?" And she's like, "Oh, I love it." So she's very experienced at doing events. So I basically kind of conceptualized this, and then she helped me with the marketing, with reaching out on the social. I suck, so I'm older. Okay, everybody. I don't mind.
I'm older than you.
I know you are, but like I'm almost 50 years old. Okay, so like social media, TikTok and Instagram. I don't know. Okay,
Sure,
I can
sure
upload
you don't know. You
I can
just happen to
upload
be
photo.
one of the top celebrities. But
I
yeah,
can
sure.
upload a photo. I can upload a video. I don't know how to do all the fancy filters and stuff, but Marty knows how to do that. So I came up with the idea. I'm like, you know what, Marty? There's no budget. I don't want to spend no money. I don't want to do anything fancy. So I'm like, what if we just do something super simple? Let's just do a picnic. Let's find a park, have everybody bring their own food. We don't even have to worry about getting a food truck or a potluck, dietary restriction. Just have everybody bring their own favorite picnic food and what they want to drink. And then just come to the park. We'll hang out. We will talk not only about Tesla. We can talk about men,
Family.
kids. Yep.
Job.
Talk about makeup, right? Whatever, right? So we did this in September or October 2021, so fall of 2021. We put on this first event. We didn't know how it was going to turn out, but oh my goodness, it just kind of blew up. So initially we found this park in LA that was free. We didn't have to book it,
Right.
and we're like, I just come on over, bring your own food, invite whoever. And then people got wind of it,
Yeah.
and people wanted to sponsor. So
Wow.
we had someone that donated 100 Starbucks cake pops.
Wow. Yes.
Okay, so we were giving them away, and then a high school friend of mine who's also a Tesla owner. He has his own business. His company does like water bottles and drink bottles, and
Yes.
he supplies them to like Starbucks. Okay, so he's like, Joy, I want to support you.
Nice.
So he donated a box of water bottles, and then he said, I'm also gonna do engraving. So
Nice.
I sent him our logo, so
Wow.
he put it
Yeah.
on. So we had that giveaway, and then Marty, her club, she gave away T-shirts, and then we had this woman. She's never been to a Tesla meetup, but then she
She
decided
heard
to
about
come.
this. Yeah.
Yes. And she said, she DM'd me that morning and she said, Hey, Joy, I'm coming. And, I work at CVS corporate. And can I bring like swag bag? I'm like, Of course. She said, How many do you need? 60? And I'm like, Sure.
It's gonna
So
be warm.
she was like a Santa Claus, like just got like a whole bag of beauty supplies like dry
Yeah.
shampoo, like
Wow.
moisturizer, whatever, like just little giveaway bags and just giving them away. And then a lady from my church group, she got a Tesla back in 2019. So I told her, I'm like, come on over. And so she has her own business as well. She invented this pillow like 30 years ago. It's called Save My Face pillow.
For people with
Or yeah, so
or
like for
no
women,
wrinkles. Like
yeah,
so
no wrinkles when
yeah.
you wake up in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
She brought like
Oh,
she brought
nice.
pillows to for raffle.
You could use that when you sleep in the car.
Yes, yes, yes. So it's just like, and then we had oh my, I'm sorry if I forgot to mention anyone else. And then this other man showed up. His name is Vlad, and he came up. He goes, "Oh, I saw on the social media you guys are gathering here." We're like, "Yeah, but it's for women's only." He goes, "Oh no, I'm a photographer." I'm like, "We don't have money to pay you." He goes, "No, no, no. We're doing. I'm
Wow.
gonna take.
Yes.
Can I do photography for you for free?" I'm like, "What?"
Wow.
So like he did professional photo shoot like just throughout the event for us. We're just like blown away.
Exactly.
And then the ladies, it's like when you go to a regular Tesla meetup, you have all the mod cars, right? Fronts open, like
Show off.
DJ blasting music, and right, all the guys like, yeah, you gotta, paint protection and what kind of wrap and blah 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 blah, right? So we just sit around in a park
Yeah.
at picnic tables. Our cars are parked on the streets, and then we're just chit chatting, right? But then um, some women would be like, during conversation, they would say, "Oh, I was driving on the freeway this other day, and this happened." And then someone else was like, "Oh, you can do that." They're like, "Oh, I didn't know I could do that," right? So then they get to learn
Yes.
how to use the car in a very non intimidating way.
Yeah.
And then also from that event, I found out a lot of women, like I mentioned, that the lady, her name is Zarina. She donated the CVS goodies. She said that was her very first Tesla
Right.
meeting of any kind because she felt intimidated going
Yes.
to a regular meetup.
Right.
So I found out why the women participation may be low
Yes.
at these regular meetups is because they're like, I'm new, I'm not very technical, I'm not doing anything to my car. When I go, I just feel like, ooh, I don't feel comfortable. So then by having this women, Tesla women,
Tesla women.
yeah, very low key,
Hmm.
super casual type of
Hmm.
meetup, connecting all the ladies together and bonding with one another, then they feel comfortable, right? So
Yeah. You
we
know
always,
the
yeah.
there's
So
a
we just tell them,
power in what you've done where you have just an idea, but it just grows from that little kernel and it's become something big and important.
yes, yes. So
Um,
yeah, so now we tell them,
yeah.
we encourage them, hey, now you know me, Marty, all these ladies
Yes.
around you.
Yeah.
So come to the actual meetup, right? So It was our we had our spring picnic, so it got so popular. Everyone said, when are you going to do it again?
Yes.
Initially I was like, well, this was just a test, but then I'm like, maybe we'll do it once a year. People are like, no, we need more. So now I'm like, okay, let's do twice a year. So a spring picnic and a fall
Gotcha.
picnic. So we just did one this last Saturday. So then I was able to tell these ladies, okay, how many of you were first time? So about like 10 of them raised their hand, like, welcome to the Tesla community. Now you know us. Next Saturday, Marty's club, she's having her anniversary meetup. So, if you're free, please come. So now you know us, right? You can see us. And then we invite them to like, oh, there's the California Tesla owner takeover event in August.
Right.
That's going to be really cool.
Some of us will be there. Yeah.
Exactly. So now this is like an entry point for
Yes.
these women to get into the regular Tesla meetups, and hopefully more women will feel comfortable.
This is a
involved.
big need, as we all know. And the people that are often brought up is basically K10, Kristen, you, and Kim Paquette.
Yes.
And those are the three trifecta of women that the top three that everybody knows, and then no one else. So first of all, you guys are important because you kind of make it, you represent. And then you saw recently our mutual friend Diana, Tesla Diva, post that video of hers, very heartfelt, short video she posted talking about why isn't there enough more women, and how do we encourage it. And so you can see that, and she's a very big participant. She's a very important person in our Tesla Universe Clubhouse group. She's friends with many of us, but even she still feels this way. And so you can imagine the others who there is 50%, right? There's going to be 50% of the population who love Tesla, who drives Teslas. I have two daughters. They love Tesla. But yes, you need to bring them in. So I hope you continue this. I hope you find ways to grow this. And you just said there's two picnics, fall and spring. But do you have ideas of how to turn it into an online thing so it's not just LA based?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I have had women in other areas,
Right.
like New York or Washington, saying, when are you gonna come here? Can you come here and do the event? I'm like, no, start your own.
You're a celebrity.
No, I know. I'm like, no, start your own. Start, because that's how I started,
That's right.
and I want this to be a grassroots
Yes.
type of thing, like organic. We're not an organization. Tesla Women is not a club.
Gotcha.
So people are like, oh, what about membership? I'm like, there's no membership. You're a girl.
Nice.
You like Tesla, you support Tesla, you don't own Tesla yet, that's fine. Just come on and join. So also let me share a really cool story for the spring picnic that just happened this last Saturday. I had this one woman, she showed up, okay, and she said, I don't own a Tesla, but I own stock, and I hope one day I'll be able to buy a Tesla. I was on my way to play tennis when I saw that you guys posted this on social media. There's a gathering. So she just drove 45 minutes, just came. I was like, we love you. So yeah, it's really great. And for any women who is watching this, start one. Just if you invite some ladies to your backyard, have a tea party, that's okay too. Or like do what I did, just find a park, and when the weather's nice, bring your own food. You can bring kids around. So we had people bring their kids around, and the kids were all playing together. And this location that we just had, they had hiking trails, and so some people, they after we finished, they're like, they went on a little hike, and just a wonderful time to get together. So start your own, zero budget, everybody bring your own food, just hang out.
Love it, Joy. You're amazing. So as I switch topics to FSD Beta, you are one of the beta testers. You do a bunch of videos on that since I think 2021. Is that correct?
Yes.
So just curious, your opinion about it. I'm a beta tester too, but I wanted to get your perspective of what you how you see the progress is happening. And I think you particularly, like Chuck Cook, you guys have a very specific route that you do, and in your route, do you see it improving or not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I actually have had FSD, or prior to that, it's enhanced autopilot package, just without the city full self driving portion. So I've had FSD, really. I've been using it since 2018, since,
Right.
autopilot. Like literally the
Yeah.
day I
The
took
highway.
delivery of my car, I used autopilot on the freeway. I was driving to show my mother my car, my new car, like 45 minutes away.
Show off.
I was like, this is so cool. Oh my goodness, my car's driving itself. So then I got city full self driving, and in October 2021. So it's been six months since I myself have had it, but I've actually written in the previous versions in some of the
Mm.
OG testers
Yeah.
in previous version as well. And I'm really blown away, just literally in the last 6 months, how much improvement
Mm.
city full self driving has gone. So you mentioned that yes, I'm like Chuck. I do have a very specific road that I keep testing FSD beta on, and that route is an outlier because it's very tricky. There are certain objects on that road that are not indicated on the navigation map. So initially, when I drove, actually, the first time I drove on that route was with Brendan, one of the OG test
Mm.
beta tester up in Northern California. So he came down to LA, and he's like, "Do you want to ride in version 10?" I'm like, "Yes." So I'm like, "I have the exact place for you to test it on." So
Mm.
the first time that we tested on that route, it was really nerve wracking. So if you haven't seen that video, basically there's this stretch of road that's in residential area, and it's very narrow. So just one lane this
Mhm.
way and one lane coming
The
that way.
lined up with parked cars, or
Yes, lined up with parked cars on both sides. And then at each of the intersections, they installed tiny mini roundabouts.
yes, I've
So
seen those. Yeah.
the roundabouts, they got these yellow poles with like black, I don't even know, just like it's, and then they just like put like yellow circles painted around it. So it's not like the nice looking,
Yeah.
official roundabouts like at big intersections, tiny mini little ones. And several of them are not on the navigation map. So if you have ever navigated on, about to go onto a roundabout, the navigation will say, at the second roundabout, turn left or something, or turn right or
Doesn't
something
do this.
like
Yeah.
that, right? There's nothing. It's just like straight, but then there is the roundabout at the intersection. So 6 months ago, the
Mm.
car would not recognize those roundabouts, and we
Yes.
always had to disengage because the car,
It's gonna
was
hit it.
facing off of the
Yeah.
navigation map, thinking it's just straight road, but in actuality, there's something right in
Yeah.
the middle. So I decided to use that stretch of road
Yeah.
to measure the progression of beta. And because otherwise, yes, I am in the urban area. There's a lot of traffic, but it's like 80 to 90%. It does like beautifully.
Perfect. Yeah.
But just that odd, the
Hmm.
edge cases, right? So if Tesla
Yes.
autopilot team can solve the edge cases,
Yes.
it's going to be great. So I'm happy to report that now I'm on 10.11.2.
Hmm.
It's got huge improvements. There little roundabouts that it didn't detect before. It actually went around it. I was like, my mind was so blown. My mind's still blown at that drive. So yeah, even just in the last 6 months, it's gotten that much better.
Yeah. So I was just at TeslaCon, the event in Austin, and you were one of the panel uh, presenters, along with K10, Kim Paquette, and some of the other uh, early talking about FSD beta. And one of the topics that I felt got a lot of response was when you mentioned about the need for the city to also be participate in the progression of robotaxi skill sets. And a lot of people loved that, and I thought that was a very well spoken, well thought of. How, but why? Like, I mean, like I think of that and I go, yes, it's needed, but they're going to take forever to do it. And what we need to do, what Tesla needs to do, is just kind of go around that and just ignore it and just do it and be a human and drive around things like that. But
Yeah.
can you tell me a little bit about your comment, because a lot of people agreed with that.
Yes, yes. So that's a thing. As I've been testing, beta, and also even before beta, just on the freeway. Sometimes when the freeway lines are kind of messed up, I would notice my car would just kind of wiggle and like get confused. It would be great if the car can think like a human, can behave like a human, but at the end of the day, it's not there. I don't know. Truthfully, I don't know when AI will truly be able to function like real intelligence or RI, right? So that's why making sure that the lane markings are done correctly and visible and well maintained will help beta, or I should say not just Tesla, but because the other companies are doing this too, autonomy, full autonomy, to make huge leaps forward. Just because software can do a lot, but at the end of the day, it's artificial. It's codes, right? And then the camera is just hardware. Human eyes are so complex in our brain, our process reflex, everything is just so amazing, right? Sorry, let me just get some water. So the computers cannot perform at a complete human level just yet. So that's why I said that I wish that the local governments will maintain the roads better, so that beta, the AI, the vision, Tesla vision, will
and other cars as well. All
exactly,
cars, all robotaxis. And again, it's another one of those things, right? You have a great idea that's important, probably won't cost them much, but you're starting a movement. So let's hope that this thought of yours, this little push, becomes a movement, and people will start asking for it, and cities will start to actually implement. And it doesn't. And I think what I heard you say is just simply lane markings. Make sure that they're all straight. Nothing big has to necessarily happen.
Yeah, just repaint them.
If
it's fading, just repaint them.
Yeah.
Even like humans, like I mentioned at TeslaCon, right? Like even us, sometimes when there are no lane markings, we get confused too, right? Let alone
that's the number one reason why there's, well, not number one, but a lot of reasons why.
Yeah.
I've discovered that for myself always. So, okay, let me transition now to asking you kind of your opinion beyond FSD Beta, all the other topics about Tesla. Just want to get your feedback and your opinion on that, your perspective. So one big one that we heard recently is Elon is thinking about his master plan part 3. What's your thinking there? What's your guess? I know it's all a guess, but
I have no idea, but I don't know. That's a good question. I was thinking, it's about transportation. But the thing is, boring tunnels, they're starting. FSD is growing. And SpaceX is, sending crew to the ISS. Those are all planned out. I don't know. Flying electric cars next. I don't know. That's my wild guess. And I've been saying this for a long time. Every time when people ask me, so what do you think? It would be really cool. I'm like, flying cars. I watch a lot.
He's not going to do flying cars. He's already talked about that. He'll do VTOL, which is from city to city. But so what he's talked about is extreme scale And I think that he's going to absolutely invest in gigafactories. He'll need to do mining perhaps, and then Robotaxi.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he
Yeah.
does.
So
Yeah.
I think the new 4680 batteries are
Mm.
being manufactured in Austin now.
Hmm.
Um, and I have always been saying this and
Mm.
telling people there are always researchers working behind the scenes
Hmm.
trying to discover or invent the next best thing, like to supply energy. So yeah, right now we're using lithium ion batteries, but who's to say
Yeah.
5 years from now, 10 years from now, somebody else found another compound or substance that, oh wow, we can actually make this power the cars, and then maybe batteries will be something thing of a past. We don't know,
Yeah.
but I'm just always just kind of like
Yep.
have a wild imagination of what
Yep.
the future might be, and I don't want to um, mold myself, my own thinking into like it has to be this way.
Nice. I
So
like
I'm
it.
thinking, maybe Elon is, he also has pretty wild imagination. So they're going to mining, so maybe he's gonna try and find something else
Yeah.
to become an energy source. I don't know, making
Hmm.
better batteries. So who knows? It could be.
Yeah. In the meantime, he's going to use lithium, which is found everywhere,
Yeah, yeah,
and he'll
yeah,
make best use of that.
yeah,
So, talking about Elon, I'd love to hear your view of Elon. So, a lot of people think he's like they worship him.
yeah,
I don't necessarily worship him. There's a lot of things that I don't agree with in terms of his perspective, but overall, of course, his impact to humanity and his what a business is creating. But curious to hear what is your opinion of Elon and how do you view him to you and to the
yeah,
world?
yeah, definitely. I think he's a brilliant, brilliant man. Brilliant. But I do not worship him, nor do I idolize him. Okay. If people say, who do you idolize? Who's your hero? I'm like, Jesus. I'm a Christian. I'm like, it's
Okay.
Jesus. But Elon, I love his eccentricity. And I love all these crazy ideas that he has, and I respect him a lot for speaking up for what he believes in. And of course, he's human, and I understand. So, I make mistakes. He would make mistakes, right? So, and if he does make mistakes, I'm not gonna, like, oh, look at him or, whatever. I'm just like, yeah, he made a mistake. He's human, right? But at the same time, because I know that he would make mistakes and he is human just like me, I don't like put him on a pedestal.
Did you say that Elon is just like you?
Well, I mean, he's a human. I'm a human. He's got two eyes. I got two eyes. So hey,
He's got a
right?
big
I just
brain.
have longer hair. I put my makeup on, and I talk this
I'm
way.
just, yeah, yeah.
I know. I'm just joking. Yeah, but yeah. I mean, I respect him a lot, and he's very entertaining on Twitter. So, yeah, I love his personality. He's not a very bubbly person like I am, right? But
He can be funny though. He's
he
got humor.
could,
Yeah,
but he's not
yeah,
super like like
yeah,
me, like talkative, like with gestures and everything. But that's what I find endearing about him,
yeah.
right? Because that he's such a brilliant guy, but then he can make some funny comments, and then the next thing he says is just like, oh, okay, that's interesting, right? So that's how I view Elon.
Yeah, it sure does feel like it's coming from his heart. He
Yes.
does have a goal, and thank goodness. I mean, somebody did a comparison of all the top billionaires and what their mission in life is and where do they spend their money, and it's pretty embarrassing that they spend it on yachts or they'll go after just different things that they pay their money for. So yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, as another topic is, curious if you think that Robotaxi is coming. What year do you think it's going to come? And when it does come, they talked a lot about, they emphasized quite a bit about the dedicated Robotaxi. and that they're about to create a new vehicle just 100% focused on robotaxi. What's your thinking of what that design could look like if you were thinking first principles
Yeah.
on that? Yeah.
So Robotaxi, I don't want to be a downer, but I don't think it's going to happen for a very long time, maybe 2050. And the
Okay.
reason,
No.
like a
No.
full on, like level 5 autonomy, okay?
Okay.
Um, it's only because the more human are actually controlling the vehicles, the more robotaxi would not work well. Because just now, with FSD Beta on the road, while it's great, it's been driving me around. There are certain places where
Right.
I would annoy the drivers around me, or the
Right.
drivers ahead of me would do things that would throw off the
Mhm.
route or whatever. Um, so I think that in order for Robotaxi to be like completely successful, it won't happen until all the cars on the street are also
Yeah.
driving autonomously. So everyone's following the same rules. No one's like trying to speed up, like in a hurry, like, I'm late for an appointment and I'm just gonna, speed up and go over the speed limit and cut people off and all that stuff. That is my opinion. But I
Okay.
think they may do, as like Waymo and others.
Yeah.
They're testing out
Geofenced
just short
areas, very
just short
specific.
distances, right?
Hey.
That could like a bus route, right? So like robo van or robo bus,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? Because it's on a set route and it has set stops,
Hmm.
right? So why not just use that transportation carrier
Hmm.
without the human driver, because the car knows where it's supposed to go, where it's
Hmm.
supposed to stop, right? How long it's supposed to stop, and where the traffic lights
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
signals are, right? So I think that would be probably the best starting point to transition into robotaxi. That's my opinion. I know a lot of people are
Okay.
going to shoot me
Don't
for
like it. Close my ears.
I know, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I think
Fast forward on this
yeah,
part.
you love technology, you're a nerd, and we know about exponential growth. And
Yeah,
so the age old adage
yeah,
is people typically overestimate how fast something will happen, but they totally underestimate how fast something happened when on long term. So
absolutely.
if you are trying to guess and you say something's going to happen in 2 years,
Yeah,
you're overestimating. It's going to happen in 3 to 5.
yeah,
But the corollary is true. The people who say it's not going to happen until 2050,
yeah,
you're often shocked that it can happen much, much sooner.
yeah. I think more realistically, probably in 10 years,
Yeah.
not 2050. I mean, that's, when it's like perfect, like
Okay.
nobody's complaining, it's running
Hmm.
as is, like nothing is wrong.
Hmm.
That's going to be a while. But
Okay.
yeah,
So
starting
yeah,
probably in the next 10
I
years.
think it's going to happen before 2030. So it's within 8 years. And let's not talk about like legalities and approval,
Yeah,
but just the functionality. I think it's going to happen sooner than 2030. And it's always about this. It always looks slow, and then it gets
right,
solved.
right, right, right.
So, they have the data, they've got the supercomputers, they got the neural nets that are learning. So you can't just go, well, based on, progress, this is what it's going to be. It's going to just be all of a sudden it
Yeah,
figures it out,
yeah,
and it'll happen within a month that he'll just figure it all out. Um, Very cool. Now, how would you design the robotaxi? So if you had your way and you thought about this a little bit, and there's no steering wheel, there's no
yeah,
brake pedals.
yep.
I heard today that Troy Tesla said that there's a rumor that there's going to be a 6 passenger car is what they're working on. I think it could be a 2 person and it could be a 6 person, but let's assume it's a 6 person. Or I'd like to hear your opinion. How would you
Yeah.
design it?
So I don't know if you have watched this show called Upload
Yes, I
on
did. I love Upload.
yeah.
Yes.
So they actually have Robotaxi in the
Yes,
show,
yes.
right?
Car.
And yeah, yeah. So that's something that I like. I kind of have in my mind, just like a little
Yeah.
pod,
Two
right?
person pod. Yeah.
And then you can lay flat too. Like if it's like a longer route, you can
Yeah.
take a nap. So that's how I envision it. And then, but it's all like, windows, right? There's no steering wheel, no,
Uh-huh.
acceleration, nothing. But it just two seats and then a computer. You go in there like, take me here, and then it just goes. That's
Yeah.
that's how I envision it.
Yeah. I have a controversial opinion about this. A lot of people don't agree with me. I think it might not have windows. I think it's just going to
That's
be
gonna be
like
claustrophobic. I
it's going to
mean,
be a single stamp from a
okay,
gigapress.
okay,
Boom, it's done.
yeah,
And you're going to have entertainment screens the entire, way.
yeah,
And I think that this people will be sitting in the middle, facing outwards,
hmm,
which is controversial because instead of talking to each other, you
yeah,
probably
true.
swivel around.
Well, they can. The
But
chairs can
they
swivel
swivel,
around.
but
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah.
middle, and you're seeing the screens and
Yeah.
you're being entertained. And then if you want to, you can flip a switch and you're seeing the outside, but it's actually a video camera of the outside. Because this allows them to just do a stainless steel single plant, boom, Christian. That's my guess.
You know what? That's also possible. That's actually my second image I have in my mind. So I went to CES a few years ago, and they had, I think it was it Toyota? They had a booth, showing those concept, self-driving cars,
Yeah.
and one of the concept self-driving cars was like you described. It just, they have screens inside, and for entertainment, also for revenue, for
Yes.
running ads,
Yeah.
right? So that's definitely another possibility. So I wouldn't disagree with you, because that's like the second one that I
Yes.
have like in
And then,
mind.
the first place that they might use it is the boring tunnels. And then you're going in, and then they'll be using these pods,
Yeah,
and you're in a tunnel anyway, so you don't
yeah.
need
So
that.
you can't see out. I mean,
Yeah.
it's boring outside. Haha.
So Tesla's got itself in so many different products and areas, and they're all fun. I'm curious, which ones are you most excited for, and the one that you're really excited for, like care for? Like, is it energy? Is it Robotaxi? Is it the Tesla bots? Is insurance, gigafactories?
Yeah, if to me, if you notice my background here, take a guess.
Engage.
Take a guess.
Yeah, Star Trek. Yeah.
Yeah, what my most excited, Elon,
Space. Yeah.
yes, endeavor is. So yeah, SpaceX. I would absolutely love to go to space in my
No way.
lifetime. I
No
would
way.
love. I would so
You are
love.
crazy. If you're crazy enough to sleep in your Tesla at you're willing to go
I
to Mars.
want. I want to go to the space so badly. So yeah, that's
Oh
that.
boy.
Yeah. I'm so happy that they've sent up civilians
Yes.
to space. I just like
Is this a
mind
lifelong
blowing.
dream of yours, or is it something that just sparked because of SpaceX?
Well, I guess SpaceX made it a reality that I
Yeah.
potentially could reach. So let me share a funny story.
Yeah.
Um, a very long time ago, I would say 15, maybe 20 years ago, in Las Vegas, Hilton, they had an attraction called Star Trek The Experience. So I went on it. Basically, you're like a group of tourists, and then all of a sudden, you get transported onto the bridge, okay? When I was standing on the bridge, guess what thought was racing through my mind?
uh,
I I was screaming in my head, "I'm home! I'm home!"
wow.
Okay?
Okay.
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 So that this is how much I love
Wow.
like
That's cool.
space. Like I'm a Star Trek fan,
Yes.
Star
Yep.
Wars fan. I don't
Yep.
discriminate. Like I watch all the Star Trek, Captain Picard's my man, okay? So yeah, SpaceX absolutely. It's like, wow, I hopefully I in my left lifetime
Yes.
that I can go to space when I'm 80 years old, 30 years from now, right? For my 80th birthday. Shoot me up there just for 2 minutes and come back down. I would be so happy.
That's not space for two. That's not. You don't want to do space tourism. That's boring.
I want
You want to
to.
go to the moon. By that point, they'll have a moon base.
Yes, or Mars base or something. Yeah.
Go there. That's amazing. You're so cool. I mean, obviously, I'm a big tech person as well, and that's why you're into tech. But it's really interesting. You said that you felt at home when you were there. That is really cool. So you are very adventurous. I hope it happens for you. You can use your platform to, position yourself as somebody that they'll choose.
Yeah.
You'd
So
be
Elon,
perfect
if
for
you ever watch this, or anybody at SpaceX, if you're watching this, please,
put
please,
you on the
please
list.
pick me, pick me, pick me.
So, okay, so let's fast forward. Let's just 5 years. In 5 years, what do you see the world will look like because of Tesla's innovations?
Oh, that's a one. And you have a lot of great questions today. So I think in 5 years, definitely, hopefully, at least half of the cars will be EVs. Maybe not just Tesla,
Half the
but
cars.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping half. Maybe
Yeah.
not. Maybe a third. I don't know. But I'm hoping that people will be driving EVs, and then more people will have solar energy, and that the gas stations around the corner, they'll start having charging stations
Yes.
as well. So like when you go to a local gas station, like
Makes
I have
sense.
one right across the street from me,
Yes.
they'll have like four chargers there as well for electric vehicles to charge. So
Let's call
that's
it now. We're going to call it in this video. Tesla Joy is predicting that a major gas company will partner and announce. You tell me the time frame. I would say even before the end of this year that they'll partner with Tesla to add superchargers to the gas station.
hopefully, actually, you know what? That's already happening because
Yeah.
when I go on road trips, a lot of places they already have the Tesla superchargers at the perimeter of the
Yes.
gas stations, right?
Yes.
But I'm talking more of like the general EV chargers, not just Tesla,
Yeah.
right? Could be Electrify America, could be ChargePoint, whatever. That yeah, like a Shell, for example,
Yeah.
they'll just partner up
Yeah.
with
It needs to be easy.
somebody and say, yeah, let's also start putting charging stations at the gas stations, and then this will also be a way for big oil to start transitioning
Exactly.
out of that industry, right? Because oil, gas is their revenue. But if they can start going into, clean energy and start making revenue there, then, hopefully 10 years from now, there will be no more gas stations. They'll all just be charging
I
stations.
hope so too. That's a
Yeah.
great vision. I hope that that happens. So some just random questions at this point, okay?
Okay.
Just out of the blue, random questions. Are you Team Kim or are you Team Earl?
Oh, of course I got to go with my girl Earl. I mean, Kim.
That's the slip of the
Sorry.
tongue. Okay.
Kim, definitely Kim. I mean, I love Earl. I've met Earl
Yes.
in person
He's
as
fun.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love him.
So smart and fun.
Yeah, and he's an advocate for pets, for dogs.
Yeah.
So that's how I got connected with him initially when I had my dog. But I just love them. I love see their bantering
It's
back and
fun.
forth, and yeah, and I banter with Earl
So
too.
5 days ago, I don't know if you saw, I tweeted out and I said, "Are you Team Kim or Team Earl?"
Yeah,
Do you know what the results came back? It's
Earl to Kim.
no 50%, 50-50.
It's 50. Okay, hang on. Let
I
me
was shocked how it was perfectly equal.
split. Yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
loves them both.
yeah. I mean, Kim's my girl, so
Yeah,
I gotta.
I love Kim
She
too.
edges out.
I don't know Earl yet, so that's why I have to go with Kim as well. One day I'll interview Earl, find
Yes,
out his story.
yes.
Um, so when 12.9 was happening, the conspiracy theory, the fun event that happened,
Adam.
were you deep into that? Were you a believer?
Oh, no,
No.
absolutely not. I mean, I also know I don't know Adam, that well, but I've met him in person,
Yeah.
so I know he was just joking around. So I was
I
like, yeah,
okay, I
whatever.
don't think he was joking, and I was deep into it. I believe that it was too,
He was running the conspiracy theory so thick. I'm like,
but it was
Adam.
too many unbelievable. So I think what actually happened is that it was real and it was going to happen, but because the community discovered it, Elon had to pull back. because he can't. It's going to look like that that it was straight out telling everybody that it's going to happen ahead of time. Stop, the rules of SECs. That not that he cares about it, but
Right, right.
we'll
Well,
find out. We'll find
yeah,
out in
we'll
the
find
future.
out. We don't. Yeah, yeah.
So you were not okay.
Nah, nah.
You're
Like I
very
said, I'm not
level-headed.
a finance person, so like anything with style, I was like, whatever.
Okay. How many languages can you speak?
Two, Mandarin, Chinese, and English. That's
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay. And then so tell me about Taiwan when we were just bring that up. And when you went back there, what is the EV culture, the EV, the state of Tesla? Do people know Tesla? And how were you, viewed when you went there about
Yeah.
this? Yeah.
So I actually didn't go to Taiwan for a long time until I think it was 2017 when I
But
started having work trips to Tokyo. And
you
then
just you
after,
just did it recently, and I saw you always checking in on your Tesla.
yeah, because like the update, software update. So I think it was 2017, I would say, that I started going back there once a year because I would go to Tokyo for work, and then after work I'd take
Okay.
a week off vacation and I go to Taiwan. So no, no, it was 2019,
Yeah.
2018, 2019. I forgot. It's been a few years, but
2018 was when the world was about to die, so you
yeah,
cannot
yeah,
forget
yeah,
that.
yeah. So um, there was like very little Tesla in
Hmm.
Taiwan. Like I would say 3 years ago, when I start going back yearly now. But then 2020 and 2021 when
Hmm.
I went back, I'm like I'm not even gonna count anymore
Hmm.
because before like the years prior when I went back, well, oh Tesla, right? Oh, I get so excited like the early days back in 2018. Oh, I see a Tesla, right? But now it's like they're everywhere. And I also met up with Tesla Owners Club Taiwan, Michael, and also
Mike,
Jack
is that
from
Michael Shu, SHU? Yeah.
yeah, Michael
Okay.
Shu, and then also Jack from my Tesla Taiwan club.
Okay.
So yeah, they're big proponents for Tesla in Taiwan, and wonderful people. I mean, I haven't really met like in person, like not cool people in the Tesla community or people that don't
Okay.
like me. They just avoid me when they saw me in person at TeslaCon. So whatever. But yeah, the people that I have met, yeah, it's just wonderful. So in 2020, when I went back, Michael took me to the Tesla flagship store in Taipei.
Wow.
And that's when they, just first got the refreshed Model 3. So, and it was my first time checking out the new Model 3 with the double pane windows and the
Hmm.
change center console and everything. So, it was very exciting. But they still don't have Model Y yet. And last
Okay.
year, they also started. So, initially, the Taiwan Tesla, they have the same charger head like we have here in the US, just
Right.
the Tesla proprietary
Hmm.
charger head. But then last year they added CCS as well.
Nice.
So their superchargers now have two cables, one for like the
Nice.
original Tesla, one for like if you have CCS, you can also use it. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah, but they don't have Model Y yet. They're still waiting for it.
Okay. And then the cars are coming right now from China, then Shanghai.
No, no,
Oh,
no, no. They're
okay.
all shipping from California. So
Okay.
that's what I found out back in 2020, which surprised me because you would
Yeah.
think China is just right across that tiny little strait, right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, because of the political
Mhm.
issue and policies,
Yep.
Taiwan does not allow imports from China. So instead of getting the cars directly from
Mhm.
the China factory, Taiwan can only get it from California
Gotcha.
across the Pacific Ocean.
So I'm assuming your family, you're from Taiwan, so your family's still there, or did a lot of them come with you?
Well, my immediate family is here. My parents are here, but my
Okay.
brother moved back about 10, 12 years ago,
Okay.
and he got married in 2020, and
Yeah.
then he and his wife just had a baby girl like 2 weeks ago. So I'm an aunt. So I can't wait to meet her later on this year when I go back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you get rich from Tesla stock, where do you want to retire?
Oh, I want to go to Paris.
You want to live there?
Paris. That's yeah, yeah.
Can
That's
you
my
imagine FSD in Paris?
no,
It's going to be hard.
no.
That's what it's
Yeah,
going to take till 2030,
exactly. Yeah, 2050,
2050.
Paris, FSD Beta. Mark my words. Just joking.
In Paris and India, but not okay, fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, Paris is my favorite city in the whole world. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Okay. Uh, you know, complete the sentence, right? So I wish everyone could.
Be nice to other people.
Hmm. Well, you exude that very much, and there's a dichotomy with you that I notice, if I can say. The vast majority of people absolutely love you, and when I bring up your name, they get joy. They go, "Oh my God, she's the greatest person. She's so easy and wonderful." But then I see you in social media, and you're not afraid to back down to counter somebody, to set
Yeah.
them straight. And it's kind of a weird scenario because I guess I would say I don't want to put the words in your mouth. So tell me about what's going on.
Yeah. So, I am a, a generally happy person, but I am a principled person as well. And because of my, engineer background, I'm more of an analytical person. So, if I feel something is not logical, or if someone is coming at me
I
kind of
see.
condescending,
Makes sense.
I'm not going to be a doormat and just
Gotcha.
let you walk over me. So sometimes, some people may have the impression when they caught me at those moments when I'm kind of like, trying to fight off whatever, or trying to state my position, like, matter of factly, I may come across as really confrontational. But you met me in person, so you know what I'm like. But
Yeah.
I can get serious. Like when I get into discussions, like serious topics, I can become serious. But the majority of the
It
time,
is weird
when we're
offline.
just
Yeah.
chatting, I mean, I'm cool. And I ran into Ali from Tesla Universe on Twitter, and he said he thought I was really stuck up or something. Like I
Okay.
was like not a nice person, but then like I totally was not, and now we're like this, you
Oh,
know?
interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So thank you, Ali. But yeah, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because there are happy moments when I I was being misunderstood,
Hmm.
and people were trying to twist my words, or like um, say things that I didn't say, or say I did something I didn't do. Of course, I'm gonna defend myself, right?
Yeah.
So then that just becomes kind of the
Yeah.
back and
My
forth.
perspective on this is that you were one of the very first people to be involved with Tesla in 2018. That was a time when Tesla had a tremendous amount of Tesla Q, the FUD. You came on to defend that, to protect that. That's where Omar, K10, this is the role that you guys played. And so and thankfully you are doing that still today. So like you said, you're a great person. You're easy. You're here to have fun. But if somebody says something that's not right, you want to correct it,
Yeah,
and we need to do that. We can't just let it go.
yeah. But sometimes I am learning that sometimes I just have to let it go because
I
I'm
That's what
really
I do.
fighting it. Just
I
like
have not yet
yeah,
chosen to engage.
yeah.
Somebody
Wise.
says
That's
something,
wise. That's wise.
it's
Yeah,
okay.
that's why I start to just like mute people, or when someone just
Yeah.
unreasonable, I block them. So
So why do you think that there is so much disinformation and FUD against Tesla? My quick opinion on this is that Tesla's disrupting industries. The mainstream media does not get advertising dollars from them, so they can't support them. There's a lot of hatred for Elon because he has so much power. But what's your opinion?
yeah, I think a lot of it is people don't understand what this product is about. I do have very few friends initially that they're saying they were actually literally told me that Elon is a fraud, and I'm
Yes.
like, why? I mean, okay, if he's putting out a terrible product, then fine, he's a fraud. But I'm an owner. I love this product. This product is amazing. I don't get it. I don't get why it's fraud. But I think at the end of the day, people don't understand um, the benefits of electric vehicles and the innovation of electric vehicles and the direction that transportation is headed toward. Um, Case in point, a lot of times when my neighbors come around and they don't know anything about EVs or Tesla, and I start explaining to them, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't want to get an EV." I'm like, "There's no engine." They're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You want to see? Let me pop the hood." They're like, "Yeah." So I pop it. It's all just my grocery bags in
Wow.
there. I'm like,
They don't even know just
"What?"
that basic information. Yeah.
Yes, so they don't understand. So then once I point that out and go, imagine
Yeah.
you don't have to do smog check, there's no oil change,
No.
there's no exhaust that may potentially fall off when it gets older, there's no catalytic converter that may get stolen. Like they're like, oh, so then, that kind of start shifting. But unfortunately, a lot of people, they're just also their pride. They don't want to accept or recognize that the like EV is just much better than gasoline powered cars. So it's a combination of a lot of factors. So not
Yeah.
understanding and their pride.
And that's why your channel is so important, right? It's to educate people what the car can and can't do. Um, I hope you continue doing more of that. And so you mentioned earlier that you thought that there's something special about the Tesla Twitter community or Tesla community in general. Why do you think that is? And I feel it too, but why?
Yeah, yeah. I think this community. I guess it's kind of. I guess. Well, I can probably compare this to like a sports team or like a music band that everybody loves, right? Because it kind of transcends beyond boundaries, right? So like we all love Tesla. I don't care if you're like a Republican or Democrat, like libertarian, independent, whatever. I don't care if you're atheist, you're a Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, whatever, right? We all just believe in this mission. We believe in this product, right? And we understand that this product and what Elon is envisioning is bringing benefits to the society as a whole. So I think that this is what's making the Tesla community so much more special, is because we believe the mission, we support this company, we support Elon, and that we are not talking about all the other crappy stuff that people normally would disagree on. I don't engage much. I don't want to engage in politics. I hate talking about
Yeah,
it.
me too.
So I don't do that on Twitter. I mean,
Yeah.
I do have my faith and I do share. I tell people I'm a Christian, but I'm not going to say, you're going to go to hell if you don't do that. It's your choice. If you believe it, you believe it. If you don't, you don't. Right? I'm not going to force you. But, we can connect on FSD Beta, right? We can connect on where do you sleep at Supercharger, right? And then you get tips and you interact
Yeah,
and then you start
it is
forming
special.
friendships,
Yeah.
right? And you start getting to know people on the personal level. And that's how friendships form.
Yeah.
And that's what's so wonderful about this
Yeah.
community.
This is
That
why I'm
that's why
excited.
it
I
goes
only
there.
started Twitter in October. So it's only been 6 months. And the community is incredibly special. And I see it growing 5 to 10 times in 3 to 5 years from now. And I want to be part of this at this point. But community is amazing. What do your family and your friends, what do they think about your obsession with Tesla?
Well, I don't want to call it an obsession. They know that I like this product.
Are you sure? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not obsessed because I don't like baby my car.
Right.
I don't wrap my car. People are like, oh, should I do like paint protection film? Like, they're like, oh, I park all the way. I'm like, let me show you my car things. Like, what about rock chips? It's a car. It's supposed to protect you, right? So I'm not obsessed with my car. To me, my mentality is at the end of the day, sorry, people, don't shoot me. It's just a car to take you
Just a car.
safely from point A to point B. But
Yep.
it's just this car has a lot of cool stuff in it that you can enjoy. But at the end of it, it's a car. So my friends and family, they know I'm the Tesla person.
Yes.
So they would come and ask me questions. And I've had actually a lot of friends just surprise me. Like one day, like literally like twice. One day I got
Right.
calls from my friends. They're like, "What's your referral code?" I'm like, "What? We're
I'm
at the
about to
Tesla
buy.
store. We're about to buy." I'm like, "What? You never told me anything. You never said anything." Like, yeah, yeah, okay. Here's my referral. I'm like, and then they took delivery. I was like, "Okay, great. I converted more." But
Yeah.
yeah, they know that they trust. I guess they trust
Yeah.
my judgment. I guess and yeah, there are people that would like ask me questions, and I always just do my best to answer. So yeah, they know me as a Tesla
So you
person.
you still think you're not obsessed, but okay, we'll let you
Yeah,
get
no,
away with
I
that.
mean, yeah, I'm literally just like making videos, just to
Right.
pay
I
off
only make
my
videos
monthly
every
Tesla
week.
insurance payment. That's all.
All right. So thank you for this. And before I close it up, who do you think I should? Who do you want to tag in the Tesla community that you think I should interview next? Which
Oh my
personalities?
goodness, I don't. There's so many of
Yeah,
them. There's so many. I know you have a great lineup. I
I
know
do.
you approach a lot of people. Any single one of them that you have approached, they're amazing.
Okay.
So I cannot wait to watch, who you have lined up next.
Well,
So
thank you, Joy, so
yeah,
much. This was very enjoyable, and you are an amazing personality that I just really enjoy, and I think everybody does as well. You're doing something fantastic for the community, as we talked about. So, everyone, hopefully, please follow Tesla Joy on YouTube and on Twitter if you haven't already. She's got a very informative videos that the community and the world needs because we need to help in any way we can to transition to sustainable energy and Joy's doing her part. Hopefully you learned something new. And if you did, please like and subscribe to this channel. So thank you, everybody. Thanks, Joy. We'll see you at the next episode
thank
of
you,
Tesla Link.
Herbert. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Joy.